Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And we must say, well done, Sharon. Sharon Davis, ex-Olympic swimmer, has been fighting the good fight to have trans swimmers banned from the ladies' events. And lo and behold, FINA, the sports governing body, has now gone and done it. They have banned trans swimmers from the ladies' events. Who will be the next sport to stand up and show they have a backbone and say, no, you're quite right, swimming, it is unfair? Let's have a look at this article to see what Sharon thinks. Well, what Sharon thinks is this: what cycling has done is disgraceful. Former British Olympic swimmer Sharon Davis calls for other sports to follow FINA's lead after the swimming world governing body decided to ban transgender athletes from elite women's races. Sharon Davis says sport should ban transgender athletes from competing. FINA voted for trans women to not be allowed to enter female events. The former British Olympian called the decision a victory for women's sport and for common sense and for fairness. The governing body say they are working on an open category for future events. So if they have an open category, there's nothing stopping a man from entering the event. And then the trans will be going, oh, that's not fair, he's stronger than us. And then they'll see exactly what it was like for the ladies. Maybe they'll learn a thing or two. Who knows? Sharon Davis has called for other sports to follow swimming's lead after the seismic decision to ban transgender athletes from elite women's races. Swimming's world governing body FINA on Sunday voted through a major new policy stating that trans women who have experienced any part of male puberty can no longer enter female events. Now what this means is if a child changes, becomes a woman or a girl before he is 12 or before he goes through puberty, then he will deemed to be eligible to race in female events because he won't have had the benefits of male puberty, the bone growth, the muscle growth, that sort of thing. I would still argue that the male biochemistry does confer an advantage, but it's certainly a step in the right direction. The move was hailed as a victory for women's sport by former British Olympic swimmer Davis, who has long been a long-time campaigner on the issue. However, the 1980 silver medalist now wants other Olympic sports to copy FINA's strict stance. Last week, cycling updated their own rules, but were criticised for continuing to base transgender inclusion on testosterone levels and admitting they could not eliminate all advantages held by transgender. Yeah, the advantages being coming from male puberty. I am so proud of FINA for at last being the first to be brave enough to stand up for female athletes, a tearful Davis told Sportsmail following Sunday's announcement. This is a very good move and I hope now all other associations pick it up. I think what cycling has done is disgraceful. They have basically said they are happy for female athletes to compete with a disadvantage, and I'm afraid that is not acceptable in a world where we don't believe in sex discrimination. The new swimming policy came following an extraordinary General Congress when members heard a report from Transgender Task Force comprising leading medical, legal and sports figures. America's Summer Sanders, who won 2 gold medals in Barcelona in 1992, and Australia's current 4-time Olympic champion Kate Campbell were among those from the sport to speak out against trans women competing in female races. Goodbye, Leah Thomas. The rule, which states any trans athlete must have completed transition by the age of 12, was passed with a 71% of the vote from 152 FINA members and comes into force as soon as today, Monday. FINA will also establish an open category for swimmers whose gender identity is different from that of their birth sex. So you can have a grown man just going, right, push, 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 look at me, muscly, muscly, muscly. I'm now a girl and going in and racing against these trans and hopefully beating them. And that will just show them what fairness in sport is. FINA's approach in drafting this policy was comprehensive, science-based and inclusive, and importantly emphasised competitive fairness, said the governing body's executive Brent Nowicki. FINA President Hassan Al-Musallam added, we have to protect the rights of our athletes to compete, but we also have to protect competitive fairness at our events, especially the women's category at FINA competitions. And it's just going on and highlighting the reason all this came up was because that man wanted to race women. And there basically is the tale. So yeah, good news. It's a start. It's not the end of the war, but the first battle has been won, and we move on to the next sport. Anyway, I shall come up and finish. With swimming being the first, and it looks like continual pressure in cycling will possibly make them buckle to be the second. One only has to wonder where the third will be. Doesn't seem likely that it's going to be football, given what they did yesterday with regards to removing all tests or qualifications to say whether you're male or female. So it could be quite some time in that. But I think eventually all sports will have to recognise the inherent unfairness in allowing men to compete against women. How soon? Who knows? But I think it's inevitable. Anyway, I shall round off there. If you like what you see and hear on the channel, please subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notifications on future output. Leave a like, leave a comment, and until next time, stay safe, stay well, and goodbye.